Hello and welcome back to Waugh Fitness. This is Kyle Waugh, and today we're going to go through objective measurements for blog number 2. I really should work on a little bit better tagline or something. I don't know. We'll see how it goes with all of these. But anyways, this is just me talking to you about what I think works throughout, health and training, how to optimize yourself as well as those around you. Again, we're going to go over some objective measurements and what it is. Diving right in, what is an objective measurement? Really, it's just it's numbers. That's the easiest way to define it for me. I use different tools. Think you step on a scale to see how much you weigh. I weigh 175 pounds. Well, I can check that over the course of time and see maybe I lost some weight. I weigh 170 a month later, or I weigh 180, gained some pounds. That is an objective measurement. That's me taking a numeric value and I'm able to compare that over time to previous measurements that I've taken. So, with that being said, how I use it in my training, this objective measurements, I use tools, training and rehabilitation. I use tools such as like a goniometer, to see the range of motion at a joint. So I could measure my shoulder and see how much I have. Can use tape measures, that's some other stuff, scales, so on and so forth. What I was utilizing for a while were really just like cell phones. I would use my phone here, take a slow motion video of someone walking, someone running, and I thought I could dissect exactly what was going on and what that person needed movement-wise. But I really found out that I was just using my eyes, and those eyes are connected to a brain up here, and all the experiences that I've had. So with that comes a lot of bias. So with that bias, I could maybe see something that wasn't necessarily there. Even though it was on video and I could watch it, maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was only that day that was happening versus the next week. Maybe they had a small little low back spasm, something like that was causing this, something in the video that I wanted to see. Overall, I have a bias. So to get rid of that bias, I had to change how I measured people and saw what was going on for them. But who really taught this to me and kind of changed my outlook was Zac Cupples. I took his course, The Human Matrix. Shout out to Zac, fam, recognized fam. Overall, he changed how I looked at personal training, the human body, and measuring it. So now I actually go in and even though I can see like someone's posture, how they're standing, how they're moving, walking, running, I now go in, get them on the table, see how a shoulder's moving, rib cage, hips, all of that, head to toe, really measure it, see the range of motion, and that helps me with my decision making in the future for what this person really does need. That helps to make what I'm doing more efficient. It's less money, less time for my clients, and they always appreciate that. It's less time for me to sit there and try and figure out what do they need, and I have a better product overall, so everyone's happy. Another way to kind of look at this, and something that you can do on your own, and that I utilize now, is how I measure stress. Okay, so I use let's see here, Stress 360 by the American Institute of Stress. It's a 30-question, 35-question quiz. Basically goes through, asks you, how are you feeling today? Stuff like that. But really, it helps me quantify someone's stress. This is something that's really important to me, and something that's going to be more important going forward is how people regulate their stress, and how we can have them have a stressful situation, have stress in the correct situations versus relaxation in the correct situations. So think you almost get in a car accident. That's very stressful. So having stress there is important. You wouldn't really want to be relaxed to a degree. Whereas you come home from work, you're about to go to bed, you don't want to feel that way like you almost just got in a wreck on the interstate, right? It's not fun. You're not going to be able to fall asleep. So being able to measure someone's stress on a daily basis and then see that change over time is very important to training overall, as well as someone's health in general. So I also use another test called the Perceived Stress Scale by the Sheldon Cohen. He came out with it back in 1994, I believe. Has a lot of good data on it, and it's only 10 questions, so really short and sweet. And last, really, that I use is kind of a scale that I used to use it more often, but I've changed to these tests that have more data behind them. But I use this scale of 0 to 10, 0 being you're chilling on a beach, sun's out, you don't have to work for a whole month. You got no stress at all. And then 10 being a bloodthirsty bear comes running on the beach and chases you off, right? Wherever you fall on there, 0 to 10 is your stress per day, is what we're saying. Which is really just me kind of making that up from the visual analog scale used for exercise or pain, used for pain. 0 to 10, 0 no pain at all, 10 you're blacking out from pain, you need to go to the hospital kind of deal. So, but again, it wasn't using my own version of that stress scale isn't the best and most quantifiably sound measurement to take of that. So again, that's how I'm always trying to improve with my training and everything I'm doing, is make this as sound, make it repeatable over time. So overall, just to kind of wrap all this up for me rambling about objective measures and all that, try to find healthcare professionals, again, just like in the last post, that are concerned with their objective measurements. They're concerned with change over time, because overall, that's what you're looking for. You're going to these people looking to make a change in yourself, whether it's weight loss, whether it's adding muscle mass, whether it's getting out of pain, getting rid of a limitation, structural limitation, scoliosis, frozen shoulder, something like that. Even getting into nutrition, finding ways to get rid of gut inflammation and bloating. There's so many different things, but find someone that is objective in what they are doing. It's crucial, and that is something that I have found is lacking in all of healthcare in general. I think the only folks that really utilize a lot of objective measurements are doctors and blood tests. That's really the only, correct me if I'm wrong, if anyone knows anything, please, but I think doctors and blood tests are really the most objective things we have out there, versus training, which is the least objective healthcare profession out there. We may track some weight, we may track circumferences, BMI, body fat, a couple of things like that, but really changing how someone moves for the better, that is not a very objective anymore. So for other trainers, healthcare professionals out there, become objective. For the clients out there, find healthcare professionals that are objective with what they do. So if you enjoyed this video, you enjoy me preaching, giving some education, whatever you want to call it, please like, subscribe to this, follow me on Instagram, follow the newsletter on my website.